Newlywed couple Wanda and Vision move into the town of Westview during the 1950s. Despite Vision being an android and Wanda having telekinesis and reality warping abilities, they attempt to blend in. One day, they notice a heart drawn on their calendar, but neither can remember what the occasion is. While Vision goes to his job at Computational Services Incorporated, Wanda believes that the heart represents their anniversary. Their neighbor Agnes introduces herself to Wanda and helps her prepare to celebrate that night. Vision amazes his co-workers with his speed, but is unsure what his company actually does. He is reminded that he and Wanda are hosting his boss, Mr. Hart, and his wife for dinner that night, which they realize is what the heart represents. Wanda and Vision struggle to hide their abilities while making a last-minute dinner for the Harts. While interrogating Wanda and Vision, Mr. Hart chokes on his food, and Vision uses his abilities to save him. All of this takes place in the fictional sitcom WandaVision. As the episode ends, we see that someone is watching the show on a television. During the 1960s, Wanda and Vision hear strange noises outside their house. They prepare their magic act for a neighborhood talent show. Wanda and Agnes spend the day with the show's planning committee, led by Dottie, and Vision attends a neighborhood watch meeting where he accidentally swallows some chewing gum. Wanda befriends another neighbor, Geraldine, and notices more strange things. A yellow and red toy helicopter in their black and white world, a voice on the radio that seems to be speaking to her, and a red bloodstain. Thanks to the gum caught in his internal mechanisms, Vision appears to be intoxicated at the talent show and publicly reveals his abilities. Wanda uses her own abilities to make this look like simple magic tricks, and fixes Vision by removing the gum. They return home, and Wanda becomes visibly pregnant. When they see a strange beekeeper emerging from a manhole on their street, Wanda resets their reality to before the figure appears. The setting then becomes colorful as it changes to the 1970s. Dr. Nielsen checks on Wanda's pregnancy and says she is 4 months along and everything is fine before leaving for an intended holiday with his wife. While Vision sees Nielsen out, he sees his neighbor Herb unknowingly cutting through their wall. Wanda and Vision paint a nursery while debating what to name their child before Wanda's pregnancy elevates to 6 months. When she begins contractions, her abilities begin to move things in the house and eventually shut down the entire town's power. Geraldine arrives and helps Wanda deliver twins Tommy and Billy. Vision catches Agnes and Herb gossiping outside. They talk about Geraldine, who has just arrived in town and does not have a home or family. Inside, Wanda interrogates Geraldine, after Geraldine reveals that she knows Ultron killed Wanda's twin brother, Pietro. Wanda notices that Geraldine is wearing a pendant with a sword emblem on it. When Vision returns, Geraldine is gone. Outside of Westview, Geraldine is cast out from a wall of static and is surrounded by sword agents. Captain Monica Rambeau, an agent of SWORD, returns to life following the blip, to find her mother Maria has died of cancer. 3 weeks later, Monica returns to work and is sent by acting director Tyler Hayward to help FBI agent Jimmy Woo with a missing persons case in Westview, New Jersey. They discover a hexagonal static CMBR field surrounding the town, which Monica is pulled into. Within 24 hours, SWORD establishes a base around the town and sends drones and an agent in to investigate. Dr. Darcy Lewis is asked to study the phenomena and discovers broadcast signals for the sitcom WandaVision. They use the show to observe events inside the town, learn that the real residents have been cast as characters in the sitcom, and see Monica disguise herself as Geraldine. Darcy and Jimmy unsuccessfully attempt to use the radio to contact Wanda. When Monica mentions Ultron, Wanda casts her out of the town. The sitcom illusion disappears, and Wanda sees Vision appear as he did when he died. Horrified, she restores the illusion. In a 1980s setting, Wanda and Vision struggle to stop Tommy and Billy from crying. Agnes offers to help look after the boys, but Vision questions her behavior. He and Wanda are interrupted when Tommy and Billy suddenly age up to 5 years old. When a dog appears at their house, the boys ask to keep it, and Agnes suggests the name Sparky. Wanda almost reveals her abilities to Agnes concerning Vision, while the boys age up again to 10 years old. At work, Vision reads an email from SWORD that reveals the situation in Westview. He breaks through to a real Westview resident and learns that Wanda is seemingly controlling the town. SWORD sends a drone from the 1980s into Westview, which causes Sparky to run off. Hayward orders the drone to be used to kill Wanda, but she emerges from the static field with the drone and warns Hayward to leave her alone. Agnes finds Sparky dead. Vision confronts Wanda about her actions, but they are interrupted when Pietro arrives. Watching the broadcast, Darcy notes that Pietro has been recast. In a late 1990s/early 2000s setting, Wanda wants to spend Tommy and Billy's first Halloween together as a family, but Vision tells her that he is going to patrol the streets with the neighborhood watch. Pietro offers to step in as a father figure and takes the boys trick-or-treating, causing mischief with his super speed, which Tommy is revealed to have inherited. Meanwhile, Vision explores further away from their house and finds residents of Westview standing frozen in their positions, including Agnes. Vision speaks to Agnes's real self and she tells him that he is dead. Outside Westview, Hayward orders Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy to leave the base for disagreeing with his decision to attack Wanda, but they sneak back inside. They hack into his computer and discover that he has been tracking Vision's vibranium signature. Vision tries to push through the static wall, but he begins to disintegrate. Billy senses this and tells Wanda, who expands the hexagonal static wall. Vision, Darcy, and several SWORD agents are enveloped by the new boundary. In a mid to late 2000s setting, Wanda decides to have a date to herself and Agnes agrees to babysit Tommy and Billy. Wanda sees various parts of her house constantly changing and is unable to control them. Vision wakes up to find the SWORD agents inside the boundary are now members of a circus. He releases Darcy from the spell, and she tells Vision about his death and the events that led to the current situation. Outside of Westview, Monica and Jimmy meet with loyal SWORD personnel and obtain a vehicle that should be able to cross the barrier. When this is unsuccessful, Monica decides to enter herself. She passes through the static wall and emerges with seemingly heightened vision. When Monica confronts Wanda, Agnes tells Monica to leave and takes Wanda to her house. Wanda looks for the boys in the basement and discovers a strange lair. Agatha introduces herself as a witch named Agatha Harkness, and reveals that she has been interfering with Wanda, including by sending the Pietro imposter and killing Sparky. In Salem in 1693, a coven of witches led by her mother, Evanora, attempt to kill Agatha for practicing dark magic, but she drains their life forces. In the present, Agatha demands to know how Wanda is controlling Westview and forces her to relive key moments of her life. Agatha learns that Wanda has had magical abilities since she was a child, which were later amplified by the Mind Stone, and that she has always enjoyed watching various sitcoms. After the blip, Wanda visited SWORD to recover Vision's body, but Hayward refused to let her bury him. Unable to feel any life in Vision, she drove to a lot in Westview that he had bought for her before his death so they could live there together. In a fit of grief, she manifested a house on the lot and a new version of Vision, and extended the hex across the entire town. Agatha concludes that Wanda possesses a legendary form of magic called chaos magic, and dubs her the Scarlet Witch. In a mid-credit scene, Hayward reactivates the original Vision's now all-white, reassembled corpse. Agatha attempts to take Wanda's chaos magic from her. The White Vision enters Westview with the goal to destroy Wanda's created Vision. The two Visions fight, while Agatha releases the residents of Westview from Wanda's control. Angry, they turn on Wanda and demand she let them go. Wanda is overwhelmed and starts to open the barrier, causing Wanda's created Vision and the twins to start disintegrating. Hayward and other SWORD agents enter before Wanda seals the barrier again. Monica confronts the fake Pietro, who is actually a resident named Ralph Boner, and releases him from Agatha's spell. She then helps the twins stop SWORD, using powers she gained when entering the Hex's barrier, while Wanda's created Vision is able to restore his memories into the White Vision, who then decides to leave town. Wanda tricks Agatha, casting a spell that takes away her magic, and Wanda fully becomes the Scarlet Witch. Wanda traps Agatha in Westview forever to play the role of Agnes. Wanda decides to give up her new family, realizing it is the right thing to do, and says goodbye to Tommy, Billy, and Vision before collapsing the barrier. Wanda apologizes to Monica for any harm she caused, and leaves Westview. In a mid-credit scene, Monica is informed by a Skrull that a friend of her mother's wants to meet her. Monica asks where, and the Skrull points to the sky. In a post-credit scene, Wanda has gone into hiding to learn about her powers from the Darkhold.